Wayfair's Labor Day clearance is here. Right now, score up to 70% off everything home, plus fast shipping on everything right to your door. Shop now through September 2nd at wayfair.com.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/zip. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/zip. That's ZipRecruiter.com/zip. ZipRecruiter.com/zip.
All right, man. So news for the run is very quick, but I think this is some very impactful things, and it's going to help these teams a lot. So Terry McLaurin, I don't know where I got that from. Terry McLaurin of the Washington Commanders recently just signed his deal after making a big fuss about wanting to trade and possibly going somewhere else. Signed a 3-year extension worth $96 million. Happy for him that he got his money. And I'm even more happy for the Commanders that they got their guy back, because that team would not have been the same if they didn't get a chance to re-sign McLaurin. I just don't see it being the same, especially taking away Jaden Daniels' main option would be rough. The whole effect of adding Deebo Samuel wouldn't even be as exciting, because now he would turn into receiver number 1. And typically in the past, whenever we've seen Deebo Samuel as the number 1 option, it just has not looked good. Not saying he can't do it, but it just hasn't looked good based on evidence that we've seen when he was in San Francisco. So definitely happy for the Commanders that they got their guy, Terry McLaurin. Other than that, man, you got Trey Hendrickson of the Cincinnati Bengals. Weird move here, but Hendrickson signed a 1-year deal for $30 million with the Bengals. This was also a huge fuss going on about if he's going to re-sign, if he's going to be traded, where would he go? And the Bengals, truth be told, I don't think they could afford to lose Hendrickson, because this would have already been a huge blow to their defense, as rough as the defense is and as shorthanded as the defense is already. So to me, I'm glad they did make this move and at least bring him back for one more season to try and run it back. So obviously, maybe he leaves next season. Maybe he stays, whatever. Maybe money gets moved around in the NFL. And I feel like it becomes a game of, if you know how to manipulate the money, then you'll have the best roster, because it's insane. It's insane the way they do these things in these professional sports of teams are able to go over this limit and teams can't go over that limit. But that's a whole nother story. Other than that, the last free agent that we're waiting to see sign, or he's coming up on his deal, is that boy out in Dallas, man. That man out in Dallas, the edge rusher, Micah Parsons. He's the last one we're waiting to see. A lot of people expected or still expect Micah Parsons to stay in Dallas. But, we're creeping up on the game day pretty soon. Cowboys, I think they kick off against the Eagles, really. So they're going to be, one of the first teams that's there. But also, I wouldn't put it past Jerry Jones to make, a big statement right before the game or whatever the case is, similar to how he did with Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and all these other guys that they've done. But, yeah, the Cowboys, they open against the Eagles. That game is going to be played that one's going to be in Philly. I think it is. I thought it was in Brazil, but I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that part, but they definitely have the first game Thursday Night Football, September 4th, 2025. So excited for that. Other than that, though, man, look, so my Atlanta Falcons, we are beat down, bruised, and beat, man. We are struggling right now with my Atlanta Falcons. So our offensive line, we've lost a couple of different pieces on the Falcons offensive line, man. And I'm starting to worry about how this is really going to affect the offense because as of right now, we lost Caleb McGarry. He's out for a significant time. They never really even stated what the injury was, but they just said he was carted off and it was nasty. It was looking rough, and he's going to be out for a significant amount of time is what the report said. Then after that, we had pretty much his backup, Storm Norton. He's also going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks. So this is two crucial offensive linemen for the Atlanta Falcons. One is a great pass protector, and the other is just a backup who's also a great dependent coming off the bench and coming off the sidelines to fill in some space. But we lose both of them. So now I'm a little worried. And I'm not going to lie to you. This concerns me because this is Penix's, his right-hand guy, his blindside blocker. And this is someone you can typically depend on when you have to worry about certain protections being called and just worrying about your blind side. I think we all know how important that is for quarterbacks to have protection on their blind side. So I'm a little scared. And, the initial thing that I'm thinking is for the offensive game plan, based on what I've seen last year and what I've seen so far in the preseason, and maybe the Falcons do a complete 360 from everything that happened in the preseason. Who really knows? I guess we'll only be able to tell in week 1, but I'm a little concerned because losing these offensive linemen now puts us at a shortage of hands in the offensive line within our depth, but also thinking about play action, thinking about, these deep bomb plays, explosive plays that happen. I don't know if we'll be able to recreate those things as often as I hoped initially couple weeks back before these injuries happened. And I say this mainly because these explosive plays take time to develop. When you see guys running a deep post route and catching it middle of the field, the quarterback needs time to throw the ball. They need time for these routes to develop. And without two crucial offensive linemen, I'm a little worried for it. Same with play action. A lot of play action plays. Yes, it can happen quick. Sometimes you can get your quarterback out the pocket. They sometimes buy him a little more time in these play action calls, but ultimately, I'm a little worried because these guys were crucial. And I know McGarry and Norton aren't like the best offensive lineman that has ever walked into Atlanta, but these guys definitely are impactful. And I think, come week 1, it's going to change my thought process of what to expect from this team. So initially, I'm thinking, we're routine. Everything is looking very polished, and these plays, we're seeing some explosive plays similar to how we did early on in the season with the Atlanta Falcons, especially in that matchup against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I was expecting something similar to that. But with our offensive lineman being hurt, I don't really know what we'll see. I'm worried. At this point, I know we're going to see some mistakes. As long as it's not the mental errors, I think I can just, live and survive with it. But with offensive linemen being down, I know we'll see some mistakes. The run game shouldn't be as bad because we should still be able to move the ball running the ball. Bijan is a great running back. He's great with manipulating space and great footwork, just being able to get to his spots and break out. So I'm not too worried about the run game here. The biggest part here is really just the passing game, play action plays, and just these explosive type of downfield plays. Now, Norton, it's said that we'll probably get him back after 6 to 8 weeks. But McGarry, he's gone. He's probably done for this season. I seen there was rumors of him possibly getting his surgery. I'm a little worried. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a little worried about that. And it's gonna change the perspective of how I'm looking at things in fantasy. Maybe initially I thought Kyle Pitts might have some chances, and this does affect him as well because time to throw the ball is everything, but also maybe it helps him because, okay, now if he had less time, maybe we get our tight end involved even more in maybe short routes or just certain plays and where we can get him in certain spots of the field. So maybe this does help, but ultimately definitely concerned about this here. And with Penix Jr., man, losing his blindside blocker, who's a great blocker, someone you could probably even argue is an all-pro, doesn't have those awards to his name yet, but I think this is definitely going to be huge, man. And ultimately, week 1, I'm expecting us still to win against Tampa Bay. Not going to be easy. I'm expecting the shootout. I think it will be a great game, of course, but the game is going to be in Atlanta at home. So this is going to help the Falcons, of course, but Tampa Bay is not a bad team, man. This is a solid team in Tampa Bay, and we know those division games get nasty. I don't know how many times I always got to say it, but division games get weird, and just anything can happen in those games. So with the Falcons having some injuries on the offensive line, maybe we see Todd Bowles throw some different pass rushes at us, and that's going to be hard to stop. Typically, his pass rush is kind of tricky to score on anyway. So we'll see how it goes. It is a concern losing McGarry and Norton, but hopefully, the Falcons can make something happen, getting on the phone before week 1, bringing in some new guys here. And if so, that would help. I know Cowboys have, I can't remember his name, of course, but Cowboys have an offensive tackle who could probably be a really good help, who's not going to cost too much. And there was multiple moves that was made last year with the Atlanta Falcons right before week 1. So I know it seems like this is a huge hit for the Falcons. Obviously, it does take a hit on the offense, losing McGarry and Norton, who's the backup on the offensive line. But the season obviously hasn't even started yet, and there are still plenty of moves to be made. We just finalized the 53-man roster, so there's still room for guys to get moved around, traded, for picks, whatever the case is. So it can happen, but personally, I'm not happy. I'm not really going to be confident in the offensive. I'm not going to really be confident in the offense's ability to make these big plays until I see us go get another offensive tackle or offensive lineman or right tackle, somebody to just really, really help us out in that position to fill in where McGarry got hurt. So that's where my thoughts are on that. But other than that, man, look, I'm gonna leave y'all with a positive note here. Positive note is just gonna be super simple. It's just gonna be as simple as I wonder how long I could wait pausing, but to make it dramatic. And then I'm like, let me not even make it that dramatic. I'm sorry. But it's gonna be as simple as just, love those around you, man. Just let people know you love them. Those who you are very close to, those who you really do appreciate, let them know that, you really do love them. Just because anything can happen, man. You never really know what might go down or whatever. So just let those around you know they're appreciated, whether it's friends, family, partners, whatever. Let them know, man. Let them know. Other than that, man, that's all I got. So we'll be back with you later on this week. We'll get some clips out, get the videos out, of course, and then we'll be back later on this week, and so on and so on and so on.